It's 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Marcus is lying on the sofa, looking at his cell phone. He just received his payslip notification. $200 in salary. He opens his bank app, checks his balance, and stares at the ceiling for about 30 seconds without blinking. 3 blocks away, Sarah has just arrived from dinner. $28,000 a month. She opens her own app, checks her balance, sighs in the same way Marcus does. At the end of the month, Marcus has $380 left over. Sarah has $400. My name is Jack, and I spend a lot of time thinking about why two people with completely different incomes end up in almost the same place. If you've ever wondered why more money never seems to be enough, subscribe. This video is exactly about that. Before we continue, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and I'm not here to make you feel bad about where you are. I'm here to show you what no one has shown you yet. Most conversations about money treat numbers as if they were different versions of the same thing. As if $10,000 were just a small version of $1 million, and $1 million were a small version of $100 million. More zeros, same logic. That's the first big lie you need to understand today. These are 3 completely different games, with different rules, different risks, different mistakes. And most people lose because they're playing the wrong game without knowing it. Let's start with $10,000. Not because it's a small amount, it's more than most Brazilians have saved, but because this is where almost everything goes wrong before it even begins. Anyone with $10,000 saved is in the survival game. It may not seem like it, but it is. The threat isn't abstract, it's the car breaking down, it's being fired, it's illness. With $10,000, a single event can undo everything that took perhaps 2 years to build. So the psychology of someone at this level is protect, don't lose. And this psychology, which is completely rational, is exactly what prevents the person from moving to the next level. Think about it. Marcus has $10,000 saved. He sees an investment opportunity that pays 1.2% per month, but he doesn't touch it. Why? Because losing $10,000 would be catastrophic. And he's right. It would be. The problem is that this same fear makes him leave the money in a savings account earning 0.6%, while inflation silently erodes everything. The cost of fear, in this case, is not the risk he avoided. It's what he missed out on. There's a University of Chicago study that analyzed financial behavior across different income brackets. What they found was counterintuitive. People with less money make worse financial decisions not because they are less intelligent, but because scarcity occupies cognitive space. A mind preoccupied with the basics has less bandwidth available for long-term thinking. It's not weakness, it's neurology. So the first game, the $10,000 game, isn't about investing. It's about getting out of survival mode without life throwing you back into it before you can manage it. The way out is simple. A real emergency fund, not $10,000, which is also an emergency fund. A separate, untouchable cushion that stops the brain from operating in constant alert mode. When that exists, decision-making changes. Proven to be true. Now let's move on to $1 million, and here begins the most treacherous game of the 3. Sarah is 38 years old, marketing director, $28,000 a month. She hasn't reached $1 million yet, but she's on her way. At least that's what it seems. Sarah's problem isn't income. It never has been. Sarah's problem has a name: lifestyle inflation. Every time her salary went up, her standard of living went up too. Sometimes sooner, sometimes much sooner. Let's do the math that Sarah never did. Apartment, $6,800 rent. Financed car, $2,100 per month. Children's school, $3,400. Restaurants and delivery, $2,200. Gym, subscriptions, services, $1,100. Clothes, travel, experiences, $3,800. Premium health plan, $600. Other fixed costs, $3,600. Total, $2,400 per month. Sarah has $3,400 left. Seems reasonable, doesn't it? Now look what happens to that $3,400. Some months it goes towards a trip that came up at the last minute. Other months it goes towards a birthday present that had to be special. By the end of the year, Sarah managed to save maybe $15,000. With luck. Here's the number that changes everything. If Sarah had invested $3,400 per month since she was 30, in a portfolio with a real return of 8% per year, she would have $2.1 million by age 50. With $6,800 per month, less than a quarter of her income, she would have $4.3 million. Not because she did anything extraordinary, because she stopped letting her standard of living consume all that growth. The psychological mechanism behind this has a name: hedonic adaptation. Science shows that human beings adapt to virtually any level of consumption in an average of 3 to 6 months. The larger apartment feels good for 90 days. Then it becomes the new normal, and the new normal always demands more. It's a treadmill that accelerates on its own. Sarah is not irresponsible. Sarah is human. And the system she lives in, advertising, social comparison, easy credit, was specifically designed to exploit that human trait. The key to winning the $1 million prize isn't cutting everything. It's creating a structure before spending. A separate account for investments. Automatic debit on the first day after payment. A decision made once, not every month. When the money disappears before you even notice, your brain stops feeling like you're giving something up. It becomes invisible. And what's invisible doesn't face resistance. Now we've reached the third game, $100 million. And this is where almost no one gets to because almost no one understands what changes. When you have $100 million, money stops being a resource and becomes a management problem. Sounds good. In practice, it's terrifying. The risks change completely. Concentration of wealth can ruin you faster than a lack of money ruined Marcus. Taxation becomes a separate science. Intergenerational preservation becomes a responsibility that most people didn't ask for. And the people around you change, which is perhaps the highest and least discussed cost. Researchers at Harvard University have studied the relationship between extreme wealth and subjective well-being for years. What they found, above a certain level, around $3 to $4 million in net worth in the Brazilian context, more money doesn't measurably increase happiness. What increases is complexity. What increases is exposure. What increases is the weight of decisions that have real consequences for many people beyond yourself. This is not an argument against wealth. It's an argument against the illusion that the $100 million game is an expanded version of previous games. It's not. It's a different game, with different skills, a different psychology, and costs that don't show up on a bank statement. So why does this matter to you today, right now, when you might be closer to Marcus than to anything else? Because understanding the 3 games changes how you play yours. If you're in the $10,000 game, the goal isn't profitability, it's stability. If you're in the $1 million game, the goal isn't to earn more, it's to stop letting your standard of living consume what you already earn. And if one day you reach the third game, the goal won't be to accumulate. It will be to not lose what matters while managing what you've accumulated. Marcus is still staring at the ceiling. Sarah is already asleep. Neither of them will wake up tomorrow with the answer, but there is a difference between someone who doesn't know and someone who knows and still does nothing. That difference, built up over 10 years, is where financial realities truly diverge. Knowing this is the first step. Knowing what to do next is another story, and it's difficult to figure that out alone with a video.